The first month of Season 8 of the Suncorp Super Netball is almost complete, and that means the pressure is rising for the sides who have started slowly. One of those is the Melbourne Mavericks, who chased their first victory in club history after a challenging start to life, dealing with a brand new playing squad, injuries and 3 consecutive losses. For their hosts, the Sunshine Coast, it was expected to be a much smoother ride after a statement win against the Swifts in round 1, but back-to-back defeats have them on the back foot. Welcome to UniSC Arena here on Kabi Land on the Sunshine Coast for the Sunshine Coast Lightning up against the Melbourne Mavericks, a very important round 4 clash as part of inclusion round. And it is wonderful to have you alongside here on Fox Netball. Kira Tromp, Firebirds Premiership winner, alongside Kira, inclusion round. It's such a special round here in round 4.
Absolutely, Ben. It's so important to give teams an opportunity to include and have initiatives that they believe about. Their playing groups have got behind. All 8 SSN teams will be celebrating something different and a different initiative. Today they're celebrating Pride, and we'll see both teams wearing the rainbow bib, which is exciting for all players and everyone to see on court.
They look spectacular, the rainbow bibs. You will not miss them here today on the Sunshine Coast. Now, let's remind you, the round ahead in inclusion round, we have got some cracking matchups straight off the back of this one. The Thunderbirds, the Premiers, who won here on the Sunshine Coast in extra time last week, face the Giants. Don't they need a win? And the Firebirds, heartbroken after that clash with the Swifts. Doesn't get much easier. They travel to Melbourne to face the Vixens. And then the final game of the round. It is all building towards one hell of a finish. The Swifts and the Fever, Kira. Don't you remember the preliminary final last year where the Fever were in front for majority of the match and the Swifts snatched it at the end?
Oh, that was an absolutely unbelievable prelim final last year. The Fever will be out for redemption tomorrow afternoon. There were just clashes and caught all over the court that night, and for mine, the shot from Sophie Fawns to win that game under so much pressure. We saw her celebrate there, and the coaches come together. Just the elation of making it through to a grand final after all your hard work. The Fever would have been heartbroken, but been wanting to tomorrow night right the wrong and get on top of the Swifts on the scoreboard.
It was an incredible night being there. The crowd was silenced for most of the night until that last minute when they got in front, the Swifts. Now, as you can see, they're sitting there inside the top 4, but it's the Fever. 3 from 3, the grand finalists from a couple of years back, leading the way. But these two sides this afternoon, the Lightning and Mavericks, 6th and 7th, they are desperate for a win. So too the Giants, who are coming up a little bit later. But let's hear from one of the Lightning stars about what they need to do today to get the job done with Katrina Rore.
I'm here with Courtney Bruce. Now, Courtney, what does inclusion round mean to you?
I think it's just giving everyone an opportunity to play the beautiful sport that we love, and making sure, that everyone, no matter who you are, where you're from, how you identify, that, you're welcome here on a netball court.
So, 1 win from 3 games. What have been some key learnings that the Lightning have faced?
Definitely our starts. I know we have to get better there, so that's a huge focus for us today, just coming out of the blocks. We've been able to get those score lines back, but really just focusing on our starts and attack and bringing that physicality in defence.
Nice. Now, we've all loved watching you and Ash Irvin come together as a partnership. How have you found that growth?
Yeah, it's been really fun. Never thought I'd be running out full games in goal defence, but it's been enjoyable so far. But Ash is going to be an absolute talent of the future, so really exciting to play with her and share our knowledge.
Awesome, cool. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Well, Kira, what have you made of that? The goal defence switch for Courtney Bruce this year. She's obviously come here for a new challenge, and that certainly challenged her this season.
Well, she said there in the interview that she wasn't expecting or didn't see herself playing out a whole game in goal defence. For mine, the matchup with her this afternoon against Elle Cardwell, look, it's going to be on, and I think her position in goal defence is one that she needs to own, and that her ability and experience with Ash behind her is huge for the Lightning's success this year.
Well, let's have a look at who is joining her in the Sunshine Coast Lightning lineup as part of the Woolworths team cards.
The starting line, as we heard her say, so important. Cara Conan in goal shooter. Steph Fretwell, the captain, an ankle injury, coming back to start at goal attack. Watson, Mai and Cassidy through the midcourt, and then that defensive duo of Courtney Bruce and Ash Irvine. I think we'll see Riley Bachador take the court at some point during the Super Shot period. Then for the Mavericks, on the flip side, the travelling team have started with Shimona Jock, Elle Cardwell at goal attack. In the midcourt, Tracy Neville has stuck with this midcourt of Nankivell, Jovic and the captain Parmenter, and then Kim Jenner and Olivia Lewis in the defensive end.
Yeah, and the Sunshine Coast with some injuries that are really starting to affect them. Ava Black was injured in a training session on Monday, so in comes their 11th player, Maddie Hinchliffe. Very experienced player, but of course it's not an issue they wanted to deal with.
Yeah, look, it's something you don't want to have to happen, but a like-for-like replacement in Maddie Hinchliffe, obviously an SSN experienced player, having played in the Collingwood Magpies last season, so not much loss there in terms of experience, but Ava obviously a huge part of this Sunshine Coast Lightning team, so we hope to see her back on court really soon.
And from the Mavericks side of things, well, what a big signing this week. Christiana Manua is back in the SSN. Of course, she last played in this competition with the Giants. She went back to New Zealand, won a competition there with a Pulse. And that's a big in for them, coming in defensively, of course, with Lauren Moore out for the season.
Yes, indeed, Ben. Obviously, Lauren Moore going down with a season-ending ACL injury. The Mavericks have had a really tough start to the season. We all know of Sasha Glasgow's injury and then Lauren Moore also. We see Christiana Manua on screen there, heaps of experience having played for the Pulse. Let's not forget that she was the player sent from the court in that game at this very court. So a very physical player. She will definitely bring it in defence. So a big challenge for her now to step out on court if she gets given an opportunity from Tracy Neville.
And a challenge as well for Belinda Reynolds just to deal with a new member of the opposition. Let's hear from the Sunshine Coast Lightning head coach now with Katrina.
Thanks, Ben. I'm here with Belinda Reynolds. Now, Belinda, you have leaders all over your court, and after a couple of losses, what are you expecting from them tonight?
We're after a really strong start today, so obviously our starts have been a bit poor. So, yeah, the leaders are really stepping up this week, and I think they've had really good unit chats. But I think taking confidence in what we have done well in the last games as well. We've fallen away in patches or quarters, so putting a full 60-minute performance together today.
Have you changed anything up at training this week after a couple of losses as well?
Just challenging the girls to really challenge each other, and I've had the physical tackle pads out, so yeah, just walking towards the contest really.
Steph Fretwell was on limited minutes last week. Are we expecting limited minutes from any of your players this week at all?
No, Steph's available for the whole game, so really pleased about that. So yeah, she's very keen to get back out there and start strongly for the team.
Amazing, thank you.
Well, the tackle bag's out this week, Kira. I didn't think I'd hear that today.
But she wants her players to walk into the contest. That's now 2 weeks in a row that we've heard from Belinda Reynolds that her players have almost been frightened for the start of the game and not got the start that they wanted and almost out-enthused by their opposition. So they'll be looking to bring big energy tonight against the Mavericks. They'll be confident going into the game, but we all know how important the start is for the Sunshine Coast Lightning tonight.
Well, we are going to continue our countdown to centre pass right after the break. But if you've just settled in after a big day of netball, please remember your club or association can still apply for the Woolworths Pick Fresh, Play Fresh netball grants. Just like the Lismore and District Netball Association, who were devastated by the floods in 2022, Woolworths gave them a helping hand, a $30,000 Pick Fresh, Play Fresh grant to get them back on their feet. If you want to apply, head to pickfreshplayfresh.com.au.
We're back in Lismore in New South Wales to help celebrate the reopening of the Lismore and District Netball Association's clubhouse after it was destroyed in the 2022 floods. The association received a Woolworths Pick Fresh, Play Fresh grant that was able to help them rebuild that clubhouse, but also to help them keep running their Woolworths Net Set Go programs for their young kids.
The Woolworths Pick Fresh, Play Fresh grant was sort of a game changer for us on that day. You brought us that equipment when we had nothing, and it made our kids feel special.
I can't tell you how happy I am to get back here to see the kids out on the court. We know there's still big jobs to be done. Woolworths would like to give you another $10,000.
There's so much to do, and this extra $10,000 is just going to help so much.
They know that they can now give the facilities the final upgrade they need, and they can have all their kids out enjoying the sport.
This is wonderful for Lismore. You guys are amazing, and if I could hug you all, I would.
Welcome back to UniSC Arena. It's the opening match of inclusion round in the Suncorp Super Netball in 2024. It's the Sunshine Coast Lightning up against the Melbourne Mavericks, and Katrina Rore has joined myself and Kira Trompf to preview some of the big talking points about this game. And Katrina, we're going to start with one of the players you spoke to in our earlier pre-game, and that's all about Courtney Bruce, that combination with Ash Irwin in the Lightning defence. What have you made of that combo to start the season?
Yeah, I'm really impressed with that combo, especially last week. They had 20 deflections between them, and as a defensive group, that's a great number. And Irvin, she's one of those players who's very tall, but also very, very agile, can move her feet and do her own job, so Bruce can go out and do her own. And loving Bruce out there on attack as well, being leadership up there on attack and on D.
Tonight, obviously a huge contest against Eleanor Cardwell and Shimona Jock, two of the craftiest players and shooters in the SSN League. So Irvin and Courtney Bruce are going to have their work cut out for them just in terms of the court smarts and their ability to stay on their player.
Yeah, well, they are going to have to work out how to stop Elle Cardwell, who, of course, goes up goal shooting head-to-head with Cara Conan. This is a fascinating duel because both shooters bring something different to their sides, Kira.
Absolutely electric on the court. People come to watch these two play netball, and you can see right there why. Very similar goals scored. If you just take your eye down there to the super shots, Cara Conan having none to round 4, and there we see Elle Cardwell with 14 out of 26. So we are seeing, obviously, that confidence from Elle Cardwell. Katrina, how hard it is it to defend a player like that?
Yeah, it's so hard. You don't know where she's going to shoot from. She can shoot from anywhere. And her confidence, that confidence she has, I feel like just grows and strengthens her whole side around you. And you wonder, are they all leaning on that confidence? But the personalities of those two shooters is completely different.
Well, speaking of confidence, Cara Conan just looked so much more confident, relaxed when Steph Fretwell came onto the court last week, Katrina. Just talk about the impact of a player like Steph and what she can have on her side.
Yeah, Steph Fretwell, she's one of those players who has huge leadership both on and off the court, and you can definitely tell when she's not on the court, especially last week. As soon as she popped on there, everybody lifted. The whole 7 players, you know, even the players on the bench all got excited about what was going to happen. They knew there were going to be a change. She lifts the performance of every single other player. Plus she has those long bombs, which who wouldn't be happy to have those in your team?
Cara Conan obviously out of position, playing at goal attacks, slipped back into her goal shooter position once Fretwell took the court, and her output was immense once she had her partner in Fretwell. She was on 2 out of 2 until Steph entered the court, where she went on to score 10 from 10. She lifted her work rate to 37.5 missing net points in 1 quarter after being negative 37 in the first quarter. So Steph's impact is on the team as a playmaker. It may not show up in the stats, but the confidence that Steph brings to her team as a captain is immeasurable.
Well, we're going to bring in one of the key players for the Melbourne Mavericks in Gabby Sinclair. Gabby, great to have your company. We've just been discussing the importance of Steph Fretwell for the Lightning. You've no doubt got some experienced players. What's been the message from them this week after what's been a tough start to the season?
Yeah, it has been a tough start to the season, but I think we've been really building, and yeah, it'd be really good to put out what we've been working on court this week.
Gabby, obviously the last 3 weeks we've seen you play limited minutes, 25, 40 and 23 minutes. Do you consider yourself an impact player?
I think I just play my role for the team, whether I start or come off the bench. I have a role to play, and I've just been trying to put that out on court each week.
Do you feel that your team still needs time to find its full potential?
Definitely. I think we're a whole new group of girls learning each other's styles of play, but it's definitely coming along, and yeah, I think it's just a matter of time before it all comes together.
Gabby, we appreciate your time. Good luck.
Thank you.
There's Gabby Sinclair. As you touched on, Kira, she has been used more as an impact player in the past in this competition. She's back in it after playing in the UK Super League last season. Where do you see her?
Well, Tracy Neville said that she loves her ability to be able to get the ball, the way she feeds the circle, and her composure under pressure. So she's a valued part of this Mavericks lineup. For mine, it's just the versatility and combinations that Tracy Neville is obviously working through. She hasn't played a full game as yet, and obviously with Shimona Jock and Elle Cardwell ahead of her, she's going to have a pretty tough job trying to unseat those two players.
I was going to say, Katrina, you're saying Shimona Jock ahead of her. We've seen Shimona Jock at both ends of the court last week. First player to play goal shooter and goalkeeper in the same game since Romelda Aiken-George did it back in 2019. So it's pretty rare. What did you make of it, Katrina, and do you think we'll see it this afternoon?
Yeah, I can't see us seeing it this afternoon. You don't have that really big, tall shooter at the ball. You do have a tall shooter, but not one that just stands still. But I thought Jock came on really well. She moved her feet. You wouldn't expect too much from that. Well, you do expect a tapping line from a goal shooter moving to goal keep, but she seemed to know where to position herself. She did get a bit, confused on how she got that ball when she first moved into goal keep, but I thoroughly enjoyed watching her there. And yeah, like Tracy, always got something up her sleeve.
Nothing to be shy about. She had 93% shooting accuracy, 3 deflections, 2 rebounds. An unbelievable start for Shimona Jock in her new club.
Yes, well, it's going to be fascinating to see how she is used this afternoon by Tracy Neville. Let's switch our focus to the mid-court. Now, this is a duel which is fascinating. It's Amy Parmenter, who, of course, has moved from the Giants to the Mavericks this season, is their captain. She comes up against the Diamonds captain in Liz Watson. Now, this is a match she will no doubt be up for, Katrina.
Oh, absolutely. I have no doubt about it. But Watson, she averages 25 centre pass receives, 40 feeds, and is sitting on an average of 81.5 in the set net points. So she is so strong. No matter what she does, she is always that linchpin down there attacking end. And Amy Parmenter, not having her best season, but she's a beautiful player. And wondering, is this captaincy taken away from her performance?
Well, Amy obviously last week had a huge job against Alice Teague-Neal. Another one tonight against Liz Watson. The thing that I love about Amy Parmenter's game at wing defence, she's not scared to nullify a wing attack. She's not out there looking for the glory gains or the big time intercepts. She's happy just to shut her player out of the game. So we heard Gabby Sinclair talk about role playing. I think Tracy Neville will have given Amy Parmenter a role, and it'll be about keeping Liz Watson away from the ball.
Yeah, 100%. Also, her down here, you can hear her talking. As a captain, you love to hear that from Amy Parmenter, and I think this week, that's where she needs to lift her game.
And that's what we've really noticed here in the warm-ups of the Mavericks. In the timeouts, you often hear Eleanor Cardwell, but you can certainly hear Amy Parmenter.
Different people step up at different times, and I think the beauty of a team like the Mavericks, that they've got different people who bring their qualities to the court. And Elle Cardwell, look, I'm sitting at home watching her and I'm motivated to get out there and win the game. So I'm sure she does that for her team as well.
All right, here's the big test for you two. You're going to tell me who wins this one and why.
I'm going for the Mavericks for their first win. I think they're going to get it done today by 2.
Lightning for me. Always players across the court and a home game and extra time lost last week. Lightning.
Okay, so we're split here and we're looking forward to it. The centre pass is coming up after the break. The Mavericks looking for their first ever win in the Suncorp Super Netball, and the Sunshine Coast Lightning their second win of the season. But don't forget, tomorrow here on Fox Netball, Pivot is on straight after that Fever Swifts clash. And netball legend and Netball Australia's newest board member, Liz Ellis, joins the show. The Sunshine Coast hosts the opening match of inclusion round here on Fox Netball, and it's great to have your company as the Lightning look for their second win of the season, coming off that heartbreaker in extra time last week against the Thunderbirds, while the Melbourne Mavericks, they are in their first season in this Suncorp Super Netball competition, and they are still chasing their first win after 3 straight losses to begin the season. Could today be their moment to make history? Alongside me in commentary is Kira Tromp. Kira, a massive afternoon in prospect for both of these two sides. When it's only a 14-round regular season, you cannot afford to start the first month slowly.
No, both teams really want to get the win today. They need to bolster their percentages and get themselves up the ladder. We see the Mavericks line up there with Shimona Jock getting the starting goal shooter. She's been a huge inclusion for this Mavericks team. Brings so much experience. Elle Caldwell, Maisie Nankerville, Jovic and Parmenter through the midcourt. Kim Jenner and Olivia Lewis get the defensive role. We do see Christiana Manua stepping in on to the bench there for the Mavericks. So an exciting lineup today for the Melbourne Mavericks.
And as you can see, the Rainbow Bibs as part of inclusion round, which is across all 4 matches in round 4 of the Suncorp Super Netball. How special do they look here on the Sunshine Coast?
Absolutely. We champion netball as a sport for everyone, with national inclusive causes being highlighted by all 8 SSN teams this weekend. And how exciting to kick it off here on the Sunshine Coast, representing pride. And we see those bibs, the girls wearing them there with great pride.
Now, if you missed the pre-game show, the key talking points around this one, Christiana Manua, inaugural member of the Giants in Super Netball. She comes in as an injury replacement for Lauren Moore, who, of course, is ruled out for the season with that ACL injury. So she's been playing for the Central Pulse in New Zealand. She actually won the title with them in 2022. So a big inclusion for Tracy Neville's side. For the Lightning, a huge loss. Ava Black, we are reporting she's gone for the season with an ankle injury. And that means that their 11th player, Maddie Hinchliffe, is elevated into the 10 for this one. Vastly experienced player, we know, but a big loss, the youngster Black, out for the season.
Yeah, really unfortunate mishap during her top-up training. So for those at home, when you don't play during the week, you are put through your paces as a fitness extras when you don't play. So she had an incident with Tara there and has damaged her ankle. So really unfortunate for Ava Black. We see the lineup there for the Sunshine Coast Lightning. The most exciting part of that is Steph Fretwell, as we see on screen, getting the start back at goal attack.
Yeah, and I'm told by Belinda Reynolds that she is able to play the full 60 plus extra time if required this afternoon. She was only expected to play 30 minutes last week, but she played about 49. And this new sponsorship deal for the Lightning with Ken Mills Toyota, well, it's certainly proving very fruitful.
The Land Cruiser's cruising across here. I know a lot of kids who would like to be taking that home this afternoon.
Yeah, that sponsorship announced during the week. And we are ready to go here on the Sunshine Coast. The first match in round 4. So inclusion round is underway. The Lightning and Mavericks get an early pressure test this season. Kira Tromp, who is best placed to pass this one?
Look, for mine, that was a great start there from the Mavericks. Beautiful work down court. Jovic was able to place that ball, and Shimona Jock finish off, as you see Liz Watson on the floor.
Wing defence with her, yes! Right, centre obstruction!
My finding Conan.
We see the physical pressure already from the Melbourne Mavericks, putting the body on there on the outside of the circle.
So Fretwell, who spent most of the start of the match last week off court, she gets the scoring started for the Lightning.
A really unfamiliar spot for Steph Fretwell. She wouldn't have started on the bench for a long time for the Sunshine Coast Lightning, so she'd be happy to be back out on court tonight.
And it was a horror start, wasn't it, for the Lightning last week against the Thunderbirds. Gave them a massive mountain to climb. They did get it to extra time, but they couldn't do the business in the end.
Just too much space on Shimona Jock there, Asher, and she was out hunting. Needed to probably sit a bit tighter on that one.
And that was something that Courtney Bruce touched on in her pre-match chat with Katrina Rore, is we need to start better.
Yeah, really slow start from the Sunshine Coast Lightning last week. Only 6 goals in the first quarter.
That's beautiful work, isn't it, from Fretwell. Glided into the pocket, found Conan in space under the post. She'll get another opportunity with the contact call going against Kim Jenner. And that's the thing, expectations were high at the start of the season for the Lightning with the recruitment. That is a big moment. A huge turnover early on in this game from the Mavericks.
Great deflection there from Courtney Bruce, but it was the pickup from Mahalia Cassidy. She was right there, and they'll need to get this down and finish it off, an area of their game they've been working on.
And the home fans really up and about to start this one. Lightning with a chance to boost this advantage. Pressure really put on Watson by Jenner.
Just forced that one there. I thought Lisa Maimai could have given that to Steph, but only eyes for Liz Watson on that centre pass.
Conan. And here is Maimai. Fretwell.
Beautiful movement under the post. She just lost Olivia Lewis there, and the connection between Fretwell and Conan on point.
Jovic, who spent some time on the bench last week. She's back in centre-back starting, gives them that dynamism in the mid-court.
Yeah, I think Jovic's getting that start in centre has shown that she deserves it. For mine, that's their most stable and efficient centre court. They had a few turnovers at really critical times last week that cost them in the match against the Fever, so they'll be looking for a lot more efficiency.
So Lightning keeping this 2-goal margin. Katrina Rore, what have you seen to start this one? We'll try and get back over to her.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Loud and clear. What I'm quite enjoying is watching Shimona Jock. After that, beautiful. Watching Shimona Jock defend Courtney Bruce on the Lightning centre pass. It's going to wear Courtney Bruce down. Who knows what's going to happen after a few of those.
Thanks, Katrina. My finding Watson and Fretwell quickly.
The ball
rapidly.
movement from the Lightning, Ben, is just on fire this afternoon. They're letting it go, really getting the heads of the Mavericks moving.
Conan, really good start to this game. Across the court from the Sunshine Coast Lightning, out by 3. They got another centre pass. There's Ava Black. Looks dejected as she watches on. As we reported a little earlier, out for the season with that ankle issue suffered on Monday at the top-up training after she didn't play last week. And that's the harsh reality, is that if she had have got on the court last week, there's the probability she would never have been in that session. So that's always the awful thing going through the back of the mind to the coaching staff. Fretwell, no problems. So the Mavericks with a concerning start here. The Lightning rapidly out to a 4-goal advantage.
We saw there on the Harvey Norman replay, just Cara Conan getting a whack to the mouth there.
Cardwell just trying to steady things for her side. Remember, they started so well last week against West Coast Fever. They won that first quarter. But they just couldn't go on with it from that point. Did fight back in the final quarter. My did well to juggle it initially.
Steph Fretwell's flown out of the blocks. He's currently sitting on 15.5 miss and net points, leading all those on court. You can see that in the score. Lightning leading 8-4. So a huge start here from the Lightning, just what Coach Belinda Reynolds was looking for.
As I was touching on before, Ankerville put under a little bit of pressure there. Over the top Jock. Great wingspan. Able to reel it in.
As we see the defence there in the background, Shimona Jock putting on Courtney Bruce.
There's a problem here. Bib's fallen off.
One of the rainbow bibs has come loose there.
Well, that's how rapid they've been to start this game, the Sunshine Coast Lightning. Bib's struggling to stay on Steph Fretwell. She has been outstanding to start this match. She actually only trained once this week as they've turned it over.
Here's the first real opportunity for the Mavericks in transition. They've got the ball there. Just trying to find their way down court.
They're going to bring the mop out, so it gives me a chance just to reiterate. So Steph Fretwell only trained at captain's run this week. So Belinda Reynolds gave her the week off just to get that ankle right.
Yeah, so bone bruising is a really tricky one to manage, obviously quite painful. And we all know how tough Steph Fretwell is and that she's the captain of this club, so really wanting to get herself out on court, do everything she can to be able to get through 60 minutes and maybe more if we go to extra time.
Suffer that injury in Perth, and then they had to come back on the long flight, so it didn't really help the recovery. Nankerville finding Jock strong up above Irvin.
Excellent movement there from the Melbourne Mavericks. They really used all their options, found circle edge. Elle Cardwell created that angle, and they found Jock under the post, which Elle able to finish that one off for the Mavericks.
Let's head over to Katrina.
If you have a look, keep having a look under the post here from the Lightning and Jock. So Jock is really getting under the skin of Courtney Bruce. Just trying to get in her face. I think she's just trying to bait her a wee bit. Is this something that we're going to continue to see? She's getting on her back in the centre pass attack as well. Keep looking.
Oh. Excellent pick up there from Ash Irvine. Oh, and we just see there that same transition play the Lightning have had trouble with, turning the ball over and giving it straight back to the Mavericks.
It was brilliant, wasn't it, from Irvin? But look at Jock and Bruce. Just keep an eye on. That's what Katrina Rore's mentioning. Just keep an eye on that little duel which is unfolding. Watson floating it to Conan. So they've pulled it back, the Mavericks. It was a 4-goal lead at one point in this first quarter. Back to 2 now. Cardwell, touch looked to have come off Cassidy. Call from the umpire is, it's going to be lightning ball. Well, Mankiewicz can't quite believe it, Kira. I can't either, because I thought it was a touch off Cassidy. What was your thoughts there?
I think the umpire got sucked into the lightning, all pointing in their direction, which is a trick that a lot of defenders like to use to try and get the umpire to give them that throw in. Worked that time.
Well, that ball definitely went out off Amy Parmenter, the Mavericks captain. Fretwell finding Maimai. Returns it to Fretwell. Doesn't mind going from here, but on the first attempt, it's gone out. So Conan was unable to keep it inside the court as she flung it back, and now it really opens up for the Mavericks.
Really smart, fast transition play down court from the Melbourne Mavericks. Weren't able to do anything in defence there, the Sunshine Coast Lightning.
Well, Cardwell from a similar position as Fretwell down the other end. So back to 1 the margin. Tracy Neville up and about. Mavericks, as I mentioned, chasing that first win in club history. The Lightning chasing their first win since round 1. They demolished the Swifts in that final quarter in the opening round, and then big defeat to the Fever, lost to the Thunderbirds in extra time last week. So they're looking to bounce back here after everyone was talking about their start to the season. Cardwell to Jovic. Nell Cardwell.
I'd love to see Courtney Bruce just step up in terms of blocking Elle Cardwell's entry into the circle. Elle's just having it all her own way at the moment, entering however she likes. So that is the job of a goal defence, just to dictate a bit more through that defensive part of the court.
And no doubt Courtney Bruce will have some memories of some tough matches against Cardwell last year when she was at the Fever. Cardwell was at the Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds were able to get the wood over the previous premiers.
The difference this year, Ben, we had both players playing out of the circle, so goal defence, goal attack. Last year, predominantly in goal shootout and goalkeeper, so a lot more running, a lot more ball use, as we see a contest there from Courtney Bruce on the outside.
There's the Nissan net points, brought to you by E-Power. Steph Fretwell leading the way. And this is a call that's going to aid the Lightning.
Now the challenge is to be able to transition this out of defence, the Lightning, and get it down to their shooters.
So interesting decisions now. You're up by 2. You look to consolidate with just the 1s, or do you go up by 2s? Because it did hurt sides last week when they weren't as brave as their coaches probably would have liked. Watson.
I'd love to see the Lightning take a risk. You know, they've won this ball. This is the chance maybe to go for the 2-point shot.
Well, they're just going to consolidate here. They know they've got the next centre pass. They're up by 3. Maimai. Cassidy returns it to the centre, and now Fretwell.
The 15th penalty from the Mavericks. They are starting to chalk those up in the defensive end, particularly as a 2-point shot for Fretwell just goes everywhere but in.
It did have time to get herself in position. Well, that just shows you how lopsided it is. Mavericks really needing to tidy that area of the game up. Jovic long to Cardwell. Mankiewicz presenting, and Jovic. Contact came from Cassidy. We know the Mavericks have got Cardwell for the 2-pointers, but they're just going to look for Jock here and bring it back to 2 the difference, because they know they have the next centre pass. So now they can look to lock this up. Mankiewicz. Captain Parmenter.
Just forcing him back here, the Sunshine Coast Lightning, but the Mavericks being very patient in attack.
Jovic powered that pass onto Cardwell. Returns it to Jovic. Cardwell getting up self in the Suncorp super shot zone, and it just won't drop.
Great tip out of that on the rebound there for Ash Irvine. She's really made that her whole, you know, she always gets up and gets her whole hand to the ball and taps it out to Courtney Bruce, as we see on the Harvey Norman replay there, really directs that rebound to her fellow defender.
That combination coming along nicely. First season together. Fretwell. Really rapid again, this ball movement from the Lightning.
Better balance.
Contact comes from Parmenter.
Yeah, better balance there from the Sunshine Coast Lightning. They really opened up both sides of the court. As we see a time called here.
All right, 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Lightning leading by 3 points.
So a couple of minutes remaining here. We are yet to see a Suncorp super shot so far. Touch from Nankerville, that's a big win. That is a big win for the Mavericks, because the Lightning, they could have extended that lead right before quarter time. Now they have a chance to bring this deficit back. Parmenter finds Jenner. Nankerville. Really put under pressure there by Watson. Got the call though, and now Jovic. Cardwell, Jock with the arm up. Jock goes up.
Beautiful take from Shimona Jock there, under all sorts of pressure from Ash Irvine, but it was a pinpoint feed.
Cardwell long, wonderful vision. So it has been a topsy-turvy first quarter, hasn't it? Sunshine Coast Lightning were out at one stage by 4. Mavericks have got 3 of the last 4. Does Fretwell get in position for a super shot? Conan certainly felt that, didn't she? That contact from Jenner.
Just a late one there from Kim Jenner into the hip of Cara Conan.
Well, that one's certainly stunned, and she's feeling that. He's the Lightning goal shooter. Keep an eye on that.
Beautiful there
touch from Irvine. Just couldn't quite reel it in though. Jovic, Cardwell. She thought about getting in the super shot zone, then decided that one will do with 30 seconds remaining. Do the Lightning have a buzzer beater? Conan wants to find Fretwell. They'd love a super shot right on the stroke of quarter time, but they're happy just to go up in 1. So the Mavericks have enough time if they're good enough. Final 10 seconds of the quarter. Jovic flings it back.
Wonderful contest there from Ash Irvine. We see Elle Cardwell as quick as she can.
And Cardwell doesn't get the shot away in time. She was saying she got the shot away. Umpire disagrees. And at the end of the first quarter, it is the Sunshine Coast Lightning who lead it by 2. We'll be back with the second right after this.
And we need to get into the game with a few twos. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So, and I don't want it to be a pressure. Yeah. You know what I mean? She's confident, yeah, that when she shoots that, she's got you nailed out. And even if we can, and even if we can turn it back out, or even if we just shoot to shot. Yeah. That's fine. That's on me. That's on me. No, but we need to be on that, because and that could be nice. 2 defenders are going on it, and then we're sat there and you're like, we're just waiting. So we've got to take out one of them defenders.
Well, wasn't that intriguing? Quarter time brought to you by Origin Energy. That halftime chat from Tracy Neville. There was also a very intriguing bit at the end, Kira, where Shimona Jock was talking about the frustration between Bruce and Irvine in that first quarter. She mentioned it to Elle Cardwell.
Excellent coverage here at Fox. We get that boom mic in there. We get to hear the nitty-gritty of the coaches. The first part was that Tracy Neville wants Elle Cardwell to take the super shots, get them in the game. They didn't have a single attempt in the first quarter for the super shot. None for the game so far. So that's the first part. But yeah, the second part, we heard Katrina Rory talk about Shimona Jock getting under the skin of Courtney Bruce, and it looks as though Courtney may be taking out her frustrations on her fellow defender. So For mine, it's about getting that connection back for Courtney Bruce and Ash Irvine. I think they've made a great start to this game, but they need to make sure that the court craft of an Elle Cardwell and Shimona Jock doesn't outplay them mentally.
Now we just saw Christiana Manawa is back in the Suncorp Super Netball. First time on the court since 2021 when she was with the Giants. She's been playing with the Central Pulse in New Zealand. She won the title with them in 2022, back in Oz this season. And we're looking forward to seeing her impact on it. Goalkeeper for Olivia Lewis. And Conan, that was a good stretch and grab, but Parmenter has done brilliantly.
Perfect start there from the Mavericks. Turnover, great pickup by Amy Parmenter, covered off on that drive into the pocket.
Nankerville. Cardwell swiftly to Jovic. That was rapid movement from the Mavericks, and Tracy Neville will be really happy with their start to this second quarter.
Defensively, they just don't have that coverage on Molly Jovic across the top of the circle. Belinda Reynolds would be wishing she probably had a change in the Ava Black, but she's going to have to look on court to make a change if she wants to in that mid-court.
And that is the big loss, that speed element that they lose with Ava Black now.
Well, we know Mahalia Cassidy can go into centre. She's a defensive centre, probably a good matchup for Molly Jovic, but it would have to be Maddie Hinchliffe coming on in that wing defence or Tara to cover off. So something to think about for Belinda Reynolds.
Katrina Rore is courtside for us. Katrina, what did you hear from the Lightning?
Firstly, Belinda was saying that on attack, she really wants the intent from her attackers. If you're going to give a pass, you need to go. Either go pass and cut, so you're going to get the ball, or you're not, and draw everyone else out. But interestingly enough, they're doing a zone on the defense. So they're playing off their players, space marking, a bit like a Kiwi style. And she was saying that she wants to keep, especially Parmenter, wide on her through-court attack, so no one can drive through the middle and they can pick up some intercepts.
Thanks, Katrina. No doubt Belinda Reynolds will be a little bit frustrated with them giving up the early 2 goals to start this second term. So they're back out by 1.
A promising start from the Lightning, but just their inefficiencies off their centre pass, dropping back now to 75. They were up in the 80s, as we see a loose ball there, but picked up by Elle Cardwell.
Jock with a big sigh of relief. Irvin disagreeing with the call. Cardwell with a big smile on her face. You can tell who's the more happy.
That's a rebound the Lightning need to take.
Watson, double play with Fretwell.
Strong hands over there from Manua.
We'll just have a look at the impact that she can have on this game, Christiana Manua. So she comes in as an injury replacement for Lauren Moore, who's out for the season. Massive loss with that ACL injury to go with Sasha Glasgow, who of course has the fractured leg. So some big outs for the Mavericks to start their life in the Suncorp Super Netball. And the call goes against Jock. They're saying she's gone out. Has she put her foot on the line there? Hard to tell from down here, Kira. I know we'd need the magnifying glass. Maimont just in the nick of time. Mano had come out. It left Conan vacant.
Is that the energy boost that the Lightning need to get this quarter back on track? Currently sitting at 3-all.
Fretwell and Watson.
Lovely double play there from Liz Watson. Just found the top of the circle.
Good pressure being applied by Manua and Jenna in the circle. But Conan able to goes just in behind and pushes the Lightning back out to a 3-goal lead. Katrina, just tell us the impact that Christiana Manua is going to have for the Mavericks.
Yeah, she's definitely one of those players, or a player in the past who has been sent off actually right on this court, if that's what you were talking about. But a player who can get under the skin of her opposition, which is what Jock has been doing against Bruce. So is that what she's been brought on to do, to try and get under the skin of this Lightning side and kind of make them fall apart, lose connections?
Yeah, thanks, Katrina. She actually was sent off a couple of times in a match for contact. One of them was on Conan in a match when she was playing for the Giants against the Lightning here at UniSC Arena.
Well, if we look at the penalty count there on screen, 23 to the Mavericks, only 9 to the Sunshine Coast Lightning. So a heavily penalised start to this game. Will we see the umpires?
Oh, Bruce. So close, wasn't she? To snatching it back for the Lightning.
Love seeing that first ball contest from Courtney Bruce. She's so impactful when she gets out there and has a go at that first ball.
Jovic just waited for Bruce to land. Hardwell inside the super shot zone, of course not active at the moment. And Jock, she is 11 from 11. Cardwell 7 from 8, so good start shooting-wise for the Mavericks. So too the Lightning, to be fair. Conan 13 from 13, and the contact call goes against Manua. And that's the difficulty she's got to overcome as well, Kira, is umpires knowing the way she plays.
It's all about that adjustment, isn't it, Ben? When the umpire has their eye on you, you need to make them believe that you are making an effort to adjust. Molly Jovic's had a fantastic start to this game. She's currently sitting on 60 missing net points as she drives down mid-court again. She's owning that centre position for the Melbourne Mavericks.
Hardwell really stretching Bruce and Irvin, making life very, very difficult, but Shimona Jock is able to evade them and find the space she required to bring Tracy Neville's side back within 2.
We see the score breakdown there, even to start this second quarter.
A real pressure test, we mentioned, for both of these two sides. Out it goes. And some problems with these bibs. They're not really velcroing on too well. That's the least of the Lightning's worries at the moment.
Just not being able to apply the defensive pressure down court to slow this ball. It's moving down at pace from the Melbourne Mavericks, and then looking to be doing it quite easily at the moment down court.
So the Mavs back within 1. Remembering they haven't led since the first couple of centre passes of the game.
Just finding great circle edge there, Maisie Nankerville, and a lovely feed in. Almost impossible for Ash Irvin to even contest in that situation.
So 21 apiece here. Lightning have struggled in the second quarters this season. They're behind by 2 in this one.
Liz Watson is doing a huge amount of work out the front, but just not getting the reward.
Oh, Conan. Just let her know she's here, isn't she, Christiana Manua?
Gave her a little bump there, but she took that one well. Yeah, as I was saying about Liz Watson, I wonder whether Belinda Reynolds thinks about putting her into centre just to get her a bit more movement down court, get her a bit more space and be able to trail in as the centre. Getting caught up on the body of Amy Parmenter, which really plays into the Melbourne Mavericks' hands.
Oh, Irvin with the intercept. A massive play, just as the Mavericks were starting to swing the momentum their way. Watson, and now Conan. Every time the Mavericks start to get themselves back on an even playing field, this is what happens.
We see there on the Harvey Norman replay, Maisie Nankerville just trying to feed from a long way off the circle edge. Last week we did see some turnovers from Maisie throughout the game, 7, I believe. She's up to 3 at this point in the game, and they'll be wanting to use the ball more efficiently, the Melbourne Mavericks, because they certainly have the momentum.
I think we can use that door a little bit just to relieve that pressure. And then I'll go again. Yeah. So that was really good, that second one that you just did. You know, when you actually didn't try and contest that first one, give yourself a little bit more.
Yeah. If they like more forward.
Yeah. But I actually think you can go just turn it, get the ball.
Yeah, and then press.
I want to give you 2 seconds there. Go back door.
And go again on it, okay? A bit more emphasis on that. Play that on you.
Where's Elga? Oh! Let's go. As we lift here, we execute, and we're in the moment. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Man's on 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
So HCF tactical timeout there. Interesting that both of these coaches call the most in the competition, but what was also intriguing there, Kira, Elle Cardwell wasn't part of the huddle. She was practicing her super shots.
She spent the whole time out going to the super shot. Where's Elle, said Tracy Neville, and she looked over. She was there ready, preparing. So We will see some super shots, I reckon, in the end of this second quarter. Interesting from Tracy Neville, she said to Molly Jovic and Maisie Nankerville, let's go through the back door, let's use that backward person, make sure that we open up and not force it forward.
Well, can you believe this? Hinchliffe comes on for Irvin after Irvin grabbed an intercept. What do you make of that?
We've got the change. I think that Courtney Bruce has gone back to goalkeeper, which has then meant we've needed to replace that goal defence. So,
Katrina, can you shed some light on the situation?
I'm coming in, guys. What with Belinda was interesting what she wants from Hinchcliffe is come on and get that hard first phase. She wants hard first phase D. Obviously wants Cardwell to be taken out of this game.
Katrina, I noticed that in the first part of this game that there just wasn't that first ball contest pressure from Courtney Bruce. How important is that building of pressure as a goal defence?
It's huge. It's the goal D and wing D's job to do that first ball pressure, so then it makes it easier for the goalkeeper to come out and either get ball or not to make it, you know, so hard for everyone else around them. Everyone needs to do their job and cut that supply.
My finds Cassidy. Pressure, real pressure coming from Parmenter. My. Conan had the arm raised, a touch from Parmenter. She's heavily involved.
She's in everything there, the captain Parmenter. She's really leading by example on court for the Melbourne Mavericks.
You'd say her best performance of the season in the Mavericks dress. Fretwell still outside the Power 5, so they can only go up in ones, the Lightning. A minute remaining. Massive lopsidedness of the penalty count in this game as Jock got some hang time. It will be Mavericks ball. Cardwell linking with Jock. Keeping themselves in this contest.
Lovely second phase there from Cara Conan. Just opened up the space. The defensive pressure from Manua. She's all over Steph Fretwell there. Gets the call.
So the Power 5 almost upon us in this second quarter with the Lightning leading by 3. Nankerville, as we see the Nissan net points powered by E-Power Molly Jovic. Well, we said last week she was put on the bench for majority of the back end of that game. She is making up for lost time here.
Just too easy down court there from the Lightning. We need Lisa Maimai really needs to step up onto Jovic and try and block that entry. She's finding so much space to the top of the circle.
So a HCF tactical timeout called as we enter the Power 5 by the Sunshine Coast Lightning and Belinda Reynolds.
Sit a little bit higher on that 2-point zone as well, yeah? So they might play one to Jock, but then we're quickly out to the 2. One over the shot, let's jump on the shots, block out for rebounds. If we can't take it cleanly, out on the edge. So Lisa, nice and alive on the edge, yeah? Alrighty? Well done.
We come over in this 5, and we're going for our score that we get in this 5, okay? We don't die off. Let's go.
C to D, let's go.
1, 2, Lightning!
So HCF tactical timeout, intriguing at both ends of the court. Gabby Sinclair, well, there's a lot of strapping on that left sort of quad up to high hamstring, but she was having a conversation with Tracy Neville just about the tactics in this period of the game.
Tracy Neville, huge in her belief in her players. We heard Helen Housby speak last week. What gives her the belief to go to the super shot? It came from that lady, Tracy Neville. So for mine, she'd be instilling the confidence in Gabby Sinclair right now to come on court and do her job, which will be going for those super shots.
So Cardwell to goal shooter, Sinclair to goal attack. She has a better accuracy with the super shots than Cardwell this season. Sinclair sitting at 74%, Cardwell 54%. So you can understand why Cardwell was just practicing her super shots in that previous HCF tactical timeout.
Well, a really potent forward line now for the Mavericks. We know both of those shooters want to go to super shot. Down the other end, we see Cara Conan yet to put up a super shot this season. So it gives Mavericks 2 viable options in the super shot period.
Sinclair. And then to finds Jenna. Nankerville presented on that occasion. Now Jovic.
Much better defensive pressure from Lisa Maimai. She's made a concerted effort to keep them off the circle edge.
Sinclair and then to Cardwell. Loves it from central, these super shots. And she has nailed the first Suncorp super shot of the afternoon.
Under all sorts of pressure there from Courtney Bruce.
It's taken a while. It's been well worth the wait. Probably shows you the pressure surrounding this game. So early in the season, with two sides desperate to not go the first month, sitting outside the top four, or at least outside some kind of touching distance of those sides above them. This is heavy contact again for Conan, isn't it? Look at that hip. And Fretwell can't get it to drop. Conan gets the rebound. That's a heavy fall. That time for Jenna. Bit of whiplash as well as she hit the boards.
Steph Fretwell's having none of that. She's backed out of that contest and she's taken a breather in background. We see that Mavericks sitting on 35 penalties currently. Sunshine Coast Lightning only on 14. So some willing contests defensively from the Mavericks, taking their toll on the Lightning players.
Sinclair linking with Jenna. Look at this, second quarter. Oh, Fretwell, oh no. Fretwell's grabbed the ankle here. This is not good.
Just a collision right on that ankle, on the point of the bone.
Have to double check whether it's the same ankle, but here's Cardwell looking to add insult to injury. Can't do so. There's a bit happening off the ball. Hinchcliffe and Cardwell were just tussling there. You just cannot take your eyes off any part of the court in this match. Conan found space. Fretwell tests out the ankle.
The Sunshine Coast Lightning bench were really quick to put Riley Bachelor's bib on in back play there, but to this stage, she's just sitting back in a closed circle here, Steph, under the post. She doesn't want to do any of the running, so she sent Cara Conan out in front.
They just cannot afford any more injuries, the Lightning. And they cannot afford Fretwell to be forced out of this game. We saw the impact her not being there in that first quarter had on them last week. Looks to be okay for the moment. Probably not running as freely as she would like, but she's still out there. Nankerville and Jovic. Cardwell. Hinchcliffe putting her under massive pressure.
They'll be happy there, the Lightning, to keep the Mavericks to 1 on this down-court play. We see that change has happened with Riley Bachelor. Steph Fretwell's gone to the bench, straight into the hands of the doctor.
Yeah, so this will be very interesting to see what happens at halftime, because that injury will cool down for Fretwell. What are they going to do, the Lightning? That's a question mark for halftime that we will discuss further.
Just an unlucky collision when she was challenging for a ball through mid-court. You know, when you have an injury, you seem to attract more injuries in that exact same spot over and over, and she just clipped the Mavericks player.
Especially the ankle, isn't it? You roll your ankle once, it seems to happen again not so long after, so that is really tough for Fretwell. So the Mavericks looking to take advantage. They're behind by 4. Need some super shots, don't they?
They'll be looking for the super shot here. As we see Sinclair get into position. Great hands over, but the flick off there to Elle Cardwell under the post, but determined to go for the 2 here, the Mavericks.
She's got a great accuracy this season, Sinclair, and that continues. 1 from 1 from the Suncorp super shot range for Gabby Sinclair. Watson, Hinchcliffe, and Cassidy, Maimai.
Lovely cut there to the top of the circle, drive from Liz Watson.
Bachelor steadies herself. Riley Bachelor, great height on the shot. There is a Suncorp super shot. What an impact. We know it's been a tough week for Riley Bachelor after a nan passed away in the lead up to last week's match rather suddenly. And she's had to process all that, had to go out there last week and back out here on court this week. Sinclair looking to return fire at the other end.
Great
Rebound snatched by the Lightning.
Gets the crowd here at USC Arena up and about. A fantastic rebound there from the Sunshine Coast Lightning.
Have they got some time here? No, they won't. They cannot make it count right on the stroke of half-time. But the Lightning, they've won a second quarter for the first time this season. They've extended their lead narrowly to 4 goals at the half-time break. And that, Kira, is got to be confidence boosting for the Lightning, who were challenged on a number of occasions by the Mavs.
Absolutely. They were able to keep coming back, the Mavericks, and it was, purely to do with their hard effort in defence and being able to turn the ball over.
So while Fretwell chats to the umpires, let's have a chat to one of the Mavs with Katrina.
Hey, I'm with Al Caldwell. Now, there haven't been many super shots in this game so far. You landed the first one in the second quarter. Is that down to game pressure?
I don't think so. I just think it's game plan. I mean, we're being clinical with ball, and when we feel like we want to shoot it, we'll shoot it. But yeah, it's just figuring out those moments in the game when we can actually nail them.
Nice. So you've gone from goal attack into goal shoot. How are you feeling about your individual performance?
Yeah, it's all right. I feel like I'm feeding Shim. The connection's really getting there, and yeah, everyone's just working really well around me and helping me play the game that I like to play at goal attack.
And Tracy, what will she be saying about now?
Just being clinical and just getting the ball 1, 2, 3 into the post and really trying to grind them down in defence. I think we're really doing that. So yeah, just keeping up the hard work.
Beautiful. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks to Elle, thank you to Katrina. We will have the halftime show coming up right after this. It's the Lightning by 4 at the big break. Well, we can breathe easy, Sunshine Coast Lightning fans. Steph Fretwell has returned to the court after that ankle roll at the back end of the first half. Welcome back to UniSC Arena. The Lightning looking for win number 2 of the season. The Mavericks there first. It would be a history-making win, Kira, and they are right in this one.
It's close. It's only 4 goals there, Ben. It is, on paper, a really tight tussle. Both attacking teams really efficient with ball in hand.
It's just one of these matches that both sides have to win at this point of the season. It doesn't matter how they get there. And we're back underway, second half. The Lightning with a chance to boost this lead out to 5.
Interesting, we see another centre pass go through the back line for the Sunshine Coast Lightning. Mahalia Cassidy actually leading the centre pass receives for the Lightning at the moment. So definitely a strategy there from the Lightning tonight.
And we're going to bring in Mavericks head coach Tracy Neville. Tracy, what were you most pleased with from your side in that first half?
I think you summed it up from us. I think it's about building on our performances, and we just haven't been clinical over the last 3 games. And I think today we have made some silly mistakes, but we've actually learnt from them and really brought it to them.
A really impressive start, Tracy. Only 6 turnovers in the first half, which is an excellent and very efficient start from your players. You said there, and also your centre pass to goal rate. Is that something you speak about to the girls during the break?
Yeah, definitely, and that is something that's letting us down a little bit at the moment. And like I say, silly mistakes in that first quarter has brought that down, and in this next 2 quarters we have to minimise them against a classy outfit like Lightning.
Have you really noticed a difference in the girls tonight? They seem to have almost this look in their eye that they know tonight's the night.
Yeah, definitely, and you have to be aware that we've also brought in another shooter as well. So we're constantly not only trying to develop the relationships of the ones that we've brought in, we're also trying to bring new people into that as well. So I think they're doing well for what they're doing, but it's execution at the end of the day that wins your games.
Tracy, we find your coaching so intriguing. We saw you out on court there with Gabby Sinclair. Sorry, can you talk us through what kind of words of wisdom you were imparting on your young goal attack?
Well, she went from a start obviously in the first 2 games, and she played a bit of a different role. And for me, it's about punching up to ball. We want to really drive in hard, being a ball handler, releasing some of the pressure out the front, and that is something that we needed in that particular moment going into that 2-point time.
Tracy, I could stay here all night chatting with you, but thank you so much for spending your 3-quarter time there with us on Fox. Thank you.
There's Tracy Neville, the Mavs head coach. Well, is this the night for the Melbourne Mavericks? They've got that steely determination in their eyes, but they're up against a pretty good Lightning side as well, with vast amounts of experience, such as Cara Conan, who's pushed that advantage back out to 5. They need to pinch back some ball, but they've got to do the job from their own centre passes as Jock on the stretch.
a real coach you want to play for, Tracy Neville. You can just feel her passion for the game, and she's one of those coaches that players really, take a lot of motivation from, and you can see the Mavericks out there trying to implement her game plan with the help of Nicole Richardson, so it's a really exciting time for the team and their fans.
Well, what a couple of brains you get to pick Richardson alongside Tracy Neville. There's Cara Conan keeping this advantage as it was to start this third quarter. Nankerville, Jock, great reach she's got. The Jamaican international, but Irvin got the touch, and it's still going to be the Mavericks ball though.
Great timing there from Ash Irvine, just not able to turn that into a win for the Lightning.
Cardwell going with the double, even the triple play there with Jovic, getting herself a little bit closer into the post.
So hard to defend those ones. Really need that wing defense on the outside and center, creating that doubt for the shooter to pass back to. Another center pass through the back line here for the Sunshine Coast.
Oh, that was a pass which had Parmenta's name written on it, but she just couldn't quite reel it in. The Australian captain Liz Watson getting there just in the nick of time, and now Fretwell step back and just overcooks it. So is this the Mavericks moment? Manua, Parmenta, and now Jovic. Most impressive performance from Jovic, but Maimai's won it back for the Lightning. Just when you thought that was the Mavericks moment.
Fantastic pick up there from Lisa Maimai. She was able to create that turnover, as you see on the Harvey Norman replay. Just a beautiful outstretched arm, but the willingness to follow up her work and get it to her teammate.
Watson direct to Conan. Turnover's pretty even, as you saw, but
really important win back there, Ben. Another one there from Courtney Bruce.
Well, that is brilliant from Courtney Bruce. Fires it out to Fretwell. Watson to this Diamonds combination. They are working so well together, as you would expect, and HCF tactical timeout has been called because the momentum is thoroughly with the home side, and Tracy Neville wants to try and slow it.
Okay, when the ball's coming through the court, Maisie. Yeah. Yeah, and the ball's coming through. Why are you running in all sort of a mess? This is where we need your lead. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And you have to do your prep before you go out for the ball. Okay. You cannot just give her numbers. Yeah. Do you understand this? Yeah.
I just don't think give it to me. She's running straight in a line with me.
Yeah. Or get her to change. Yeah. Or get her to stop. Or ignore her. Yeah. Here we go. Guys, we're good. In the middle, seeing if I collapse that, like swarm to that, or well, you were not an option. Yeah. You didn't even swarm to anything. You just provided it and you were nothing. You didn't attack.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
We're good.
From the first second here, we're on. Get the ball straight away and then executing. Let's go. Lift us any options. Yeah. Options on 3. 1, 2, 3. Options. Let's go.
Very direct, Tracy Neville in the HCF tactical timeout.
You weren't an option. That's telling her straight how it is to Maisie Nankerville there. She wasn't happy with her input in that centre court play, just not driving up and creating the options. We heard Elle Cardwell say that Courtney Bruce is just running straight lines with her. So Tracy wants them to use the ball, get the fakes going, try and get Courtney off the body, but really direct to Maisie Nankerville there. She wants more and a lift from her wing attack.
Stacey Marinkovic, the Diamonds coach in the house. She's just writing some notes on her phone. Katrina, what did you hear from the Lightning side of things?
I heard from Belinda Reynolds that she now wants her centre pass to start going forward. As we've just been talking about how they're going backwards, now please go forward.
Not surprised by that one at all, Katrina, with Mahalia Cassidy sitting on the most centre pass receives for the Sunshine Coast Lightning. Unbelievably so.
Well, they certainly did it there. They heeded their coach's instruction. Parmenta, Cardwell, and Jovic. So they were getting themselves back within touching distance, the Mavs, and now it's out to 7. Jock was also given a little bit of a mini bake by Tracy Neville. She was saying you really have to present. You can't just give her the eyes.
That's it. She's giving her the the word on what she needs to do out on court.
Well, she said to Molly Jovic, she said, Molly, if she's just giving you the eyes, don't give her the ball. Give it to someone else. It was just...
Straight shooter, Tracy Neville, that's for sure. If you see the ball go in downtown to Simona Jock, she gave her the eyes.
Yeah, she gave her the eyes, got herself in position. And it's back to 6 the difference. Watson, Conan.
Just her 5th centre pass received, Liz Watson, into the 3rd quarter. Just goes to show how much of the work's being done by the back line of the Sunshine Coast Lightning. Great first ball cover there from Courtney Bruce off the centre pass as we see a late challenge there from Mahalia Cassidy. Apologies to both players there.
Jenna pops it over the top to Jovic.
Just sucked up high there, but a great feed over the top to Shimona Jock. Elle Cardwell just commanding both defenders. You see Shimona Jock's stats there, 22 from 23. Loves that side of the court, 10 from 10.
Watson looking for an option. That was where Conan glided into.
Just Mai and Conan seem to be heading in the same spots. I'd love to see Mai just trail in, let her forward players take the space, and then she can read off.
Fretwell back out to 7. Katrina, you've got a thought?
Yeah, Courtney Bruce was saying something about the wing attack. Nankerville posting up on her, and she wants the ball when that's happening so she can just go and let it go, which is fair enough. See there?
Oh, big play from Jenna, but then the intercept from Irvin, just as the Mavericks once again had an opportunity. Watson, Cassidy, and Fretwell.
Fretwell takes the pace off the game. She can read this. She knows how important it is to get this ball to a goal.
And back into Conan, under the post. So the Lightning putting their foot down here in this 3rd quarter.
They've improved their game to goal rate, the Sunshine Coast Lightning, to 75%. Molly Jovic comes through there with the take from Lisa Mai as the Lightning was just left standing still.
Katrina, we'll go back to you, sorry.
As I was saying, the Nankerville posts up on Courtney Bruce, so whenever she wants the ball, she wants that mismatch, she wants to have the ball, she wants to be a leader and get the ball on attack, down her attacking end. But you notice that Watson and Fretwell, that speed of the ball just releases that pressure down their attacking end. It's so beautiful to watch.
Thanks, Katrina. So this 3rd quarter is proving quite problematic here for the Mavericks, behind by 3.
We can see in back play, we've got Taylor Fraser with the wing attack pivot and Gabby Sinclair with the goal attack. So we may see some changes through that part of the court for the Melbourne Mavericks. Currently 12-9 down in this quarter.
Yeah, they need some super shots from Sinclair. She's been outstanding in this match so far when she has come on for that kind of impact as Jovic. Floating it to Jock. Power 5 on the way. How the Lightning approach this will be instructive. How are they going to go about this power 5? There's a rebound, and that is a huge rebound because they've got the next centre pass. They need to make this count. Parmenter, little cheeky tap onto Cassidy, and the intercept from Irvin. Once again, the Mavericks, they win back the ball and they hand it immediately over to the Lightning.
She read that beautifully, Ash Irvin. She was in the right position, got up 2 strong hands, but I love the way that she slowed it down in transition, didn't try to rush it. As we see here on the Harvey Norman replay, just let the ball go, hung it in the air, Mason Nankerville, and that will be a 3rd general play turnover.
3rd intercept for Irvin. What a game she's having. Nankerville, Sinclair. This will just be worth the 1. Still only 6 the difference, despite a little bit of chaos in the last couple of minutes for the Mavs.
So you see Tara Hinchcliffe on court in the goal defence position. Courtney Bruce taking a break on the bench.
Cardwell with a little touch around the corner, but the contact called against the Mavs goal shooter. Watson, Cassidy, rifle that pass to Conan. So Courtney Bruce having a breather for the moment. So Irvin at goalkeeper.
Lee Fretwell for 2. Just again, it rims out.
And Hinchliffe at goal defence. So this is a little sneaky opening for the Mavericks inside the power 5.
Tussle between Amy Parmenter and Liz Watson has been a feast for eyes. They have been going after every ball contested.
Jovic. Well, if ever they needed to score here from a turnover, it's right now. There's a touch from Irvin. She's getting a touch on everything at the moment.
Beautiful footwork. She got around in front of Elle Cardwell, had a challenge on that ball, just everything but the pick up there.
Sinclair popped over the top to Nankerville, that time making herself an option, but had to go back to Parmenter.
Great defence from Mahalia Cassidy. She kept Maisie Nankerville off the circle edge.
What a performance from Jovic. Now distributing to Sinclair. Back to Jovic.
Unlucky there. Ash Irvin just got caught on the body of Elle Cardwell. Smart body movement as she swings the ball to Gabby Sinclair for 2. She sinks it.
Oh, she is brilliant at the Suncorp super shot. Gabby Sinclair. That's 2 for her. Back to 3, the difference. So the Lightning, how do they go about this? They know the Mavericks are going to be throwing super shots at them. But they're still happy with the ones.
Beautiful work from Liz Watson. She pulled that ball in and had the ability to be able to sight and find Cara Conan. Not an easy feed, and on one leg, hanging out of court, just showing her class.
Courtney Bruce returning to the court. Into goalkeeper Sinclair, having no such problems.
Ash Irvin to the bench. I just don't know with her stats whether I could have her on my bench. I'd want her out there turning the ball over.
3 intercepts for Ash Irvin. What a game she's having. 44 Nissan net points, career average 24. So what a performance she's having, but she's not on the court. Conan extends it out to 4 for the Lightning. Less than 90 seconds remaining. Sinclair. Nankerville, Cardwell just inviting Sinclair. There's a touch from Hinchliffe, but still with the Mavericks ball.
Good cover there from Mahalia Cassidy.
Oh.
Held ball there, 3 seconds. This is where Courtney Bruce just needs to use the ball well.
Well, you've got to credit the pressure from the Lightning to create the indecision from Nankerville, and now it opens up for the Lightning nicely. My, touch back to Jovic. So they win back the ball, the Mavericks, and make up for that held ball call. Jenna, Jovic. Cardwell, she loves being straight in front of the post for the super shot, but she finds Sinclair. Magnificent from Gabby Sinclair. The Mavericks have come very, very strongly at the Lightning in this third term. 2 the difference. Mavericks up by 2 in this third quarter.
They've had that penalty advance down court.
Fretwell happy with 1.
They'll be happy if the Mavericks take this centre pass and that they can stop them from scoring a goal, the Lightning.
Cardwell has to get the shot underway. She did, but it didn't drop. It didn't drop for the English international. And we have a grandstand finish on the way in the 4th quarter. The Lightning lead by 3. But do not forget, straight after the Fever and the Swifts tomorrow on Fox Netball, Netball Australian legend Liz Ellis joins the team on Pivot. Well, there's a huge 4th quarter on the way here on the Sunshine Coast. The Lightning up by 3 This is quarter time, brought to you by Origin Energy. Kira Trump, the Melbourne Mavericks. They are within touching distance of their first win in club history.
So evenly matched, these two teams on court. They are almost identical on the stats as well. Both teams will be vying for this finish and the win to push themselves up the ladder and really propel their season going forward.
Well, it's a massive start to inclusion round here on Fox Netball as part of round 4 of this competition. And what a finish this is shaping up to be. Just waiting for the umpires. And we'll be ready to go for the final 15 minutes of the opening match of the round. Remember, the Mavericks, they are yet to win this season. The Lightning on the live ladder would go up to 8 competition points. They'd be knocking on the door of the top 4 at this early stage of the season.
We see the change with Liz Watson going into centre for the Sunshine Coast Lightning. She will take the centre pass. Lisa Maimai slips back into wing attack.
So we are ready to go here. An early pressure test in round 4. The Lightning, they don't want to be one win from their first month of netball, not with this kind of lineup. And Liz Watson, the Diamonds captain, gets us started. They're going to need their leaders really to stand up here as Cassidy, Fretwell and Conan. Jovic and Sinclair. Nankerville turns it to Sinclair, who's remained out on the court. We've really only seen her during the Power 5 in this game so far, but Tracy Neville really happy with her work.
Currently sitting on 6 from 7. Gabby Sinclair as she goes to post again there.
Katrina, what did you hear there at quarter time?
There's quite a lot going on, actually. I don't know if anyone saw that, but Al Cardwell went over to the umpires during that quarter break, and she's asking if the defenders are coming in under and taking their landing space from underneath them. They're wondering what they have to do to get the call there. And also, Belinda Reynolds was talking about her change of putting Watson in at centre. She wants her on D, and she wants her hard D. But then also, they need to be very wary of Parmenter on that first phase and watch for her coming from behind.
So Belinda Reynolds there identifying the impact that Molly Jovic at centre for the Mavericks is having.
We just wonder as well the impact on that matchup we touched on pre-game. So Parmenter at wing defence, not up against Liz Watson in this game anymore, up against Maimai. So
interestingly enough, they've been running that switch, Jovic and Parmenter, where we've seen, as a contest there from Olivia Lewis, we've seen Parmenter go to Liz Watson in the down-court play.
Well, just off court, you may be able to see Courtney Bruce is limping. She has left the court. Oh, that's an incredible fling back. And there could be a further issue here for the Lightning. Cassidy crashed down, but Courtney Bruce has left the court. And she's gone into the dressing sheds. This is huge news here at UniSC Arena. So it's going to have to be the young guns, the likes of Irvin, to step up, as she has been throughout this match. But this is a bigger moment, the final quarter, to try and get the Lightning over the line.
Irvin's had a huge match, 3 intercepts, 6 deflections, only 4 penalties, so a huge impact from her tonight.
Fretwell, Watson. And Steph Fretwell, composed, rocks back. So it's his 4-goal margin.
As we see Liz Watson put that defensive pressure on there that Belinda Reynolds asked for, she shut down that centre pass.
Jovic. Nankerville and now Sinclair to Cardwell. Oh, Cardwell now, has she rolled an ankle? Well, she's just asked the referee to hold time, but player's going to go on. Cardwell is sitting down off the court. So he's just saw Courtney Bruce go off. Shimona Jocks come on. It's going to be the Mavericks ball. There is a lot happening here, Kira. this match has had just about everything.
She's still down on court in back play in quite a bit of pain as we see the trainers enter the court.
It was very innocuous. I just wonder whether she stepped on Irvin's ankle and that forced the roll. She has not got back up.
Credit to Ash Irvin. She stopped what she was doing and checked on her fellow player, obviously worried.
And look at Courtney Bruce. She's just slamming the massage table there as the trainer just poked his fingers into sort of lower calf area.
We know she's been troubled with a foot injury, whether or not that's creating a problem for her calf. And in live play there, we see Elle Caldwell in a lot of pain, unable to take any weight on that right leg.
Now Elle Caldwell.
Just really unlucky for the Mavericks. They've had some terrible injuries this season, and we'd hate to see another one.
So Tracy Neville now has to deal with a little bit of a reshuffle. Jovic and Lewis. Jovic has had a game, finding Parmenter.
Huge now for Amy Parmenter, the captain of this team. She really needs to step up. It's a great touch from Ash Irvin. Again, another deflection.
She has had a game to remember here. Ash Irvin, Jovic, and Jock.
Had rain on it, that feed, when it came down. It was that high from Molly Jovic into Shimona Jock.
Well, Shimona Jock, 96% accuracy in this match so far, so they don't lose anything with her out on the court. She raises the arm up above Irvin. So a different challenge for Ash Irvin.
I'd love to see Ash just come off the body a bit, maybe confuse the space on Molly Jovic and have a crack on that ball on the outside of the circle.
Hinchcliffe. And Conan. Fretwell. Watson direct.
I'm loving this move for Liz Watson in the centre. She's got a lot more space down court.
Nankerville, and here is Sinclair. Jovic raises the hand. So too does Jock. So the Mavericks are back within one. Cardwell getting that ankle checked out. Fretwell presenting. And now Mai. Conan searching for an option. Links with Mai, now Watson. So for so long in this match, the Lightning have been in front. The only time they've been behind was literally in the opening couple of minutes, but the Mavericks are closing, and closing quickly here.
Beautiful feed in there. Just the one time Ash went out, they found Jock under the post.
Conan, Mai, and Watson. So Courtney Bruce comes back out onto the bench. You wonder if her afternoon is done or whether she's still an option for Belinda Reynolds.
Great touch there from Mahalia Cassidy. She followed up, had the contact called against us. We see Courtney Bruce there supporting her teammates.
So Jenna floats it to Nankerville, and now Sinclair giving it plenty of height, knowing the strength of Jock up above Irvin. So timeout has been called by Belinda Reynolds. HCF tactical timeout. Just gives everyone a chance to take stock in this final quarter.
So they're getting to circle edge now, so we need to step up in D. They're getting to circle edge, so we need to step up and meet them early. Get between those little hands. Your job and yours, your job and hers, wearing them down, okay? If we get a reset ball, we see ball and get ball, all right? We need to take risks on this. In attack, just keep our movement. Don't, like if we get somewhere stand, we're receive and leave and get out. What's next, all right? Let's go, come on. Towards it. Let's just remember to keep clearing the transfers as well, because otherwise it's hard. Yeah. Calm in attack and ferocious in defense. Come on, let's go. Let's get it. One, two, one, two. Line it. Let's go.
So HCF tactical timeout. Courtney Bruce still off the court. Elle Cardwell getting the ankle strapped up. We'll see whether she returns, but Kira, the Mavericks, they are pulling things back in this second half.
They finished really strongly last week against the Fever, and again they're starting this fourth quarter leading 9-7 against the Lightning. They will fancy themselves coming home strong and will want to continue to push through this fourth quarter.
So the Lightning get us back underway.
We see the change again with Watson going back into wing attack, Mai into centre.
Touch came from Parmenter. She was celebrating. She thought it was Mavericks' ball.
We see that head-to-head matchup. They find each other again, Parmenter and Watson.
Well, the double play with Mai works nicely. Now it just needs to finish, and that is perfect from Fretwell.
Sitting on 75%, Steph Fretwell, 18 from 24.
Another bib comes down on the court. Mai will have to get that adjusted. Into to Jenner. Jovic. Saw Sinclair. Popped back to Jovic. And Sinclair couldn't reach it. A rare mistake from Molly Jovic in what has been an outstanding match from her. She's racked up 122 Nissa net points.
The defensive pressure there from Tara Hinchliffe. Just those long arms. Molly put it out, but just too far for her attacking player to pull in.
Watson.
Beautiful movement there. They use the triangles. Liz Watson and Steph Fretwell, she's really happy with that goal.
So they get a bit of breathing space in this fourth quarter, the Lightning. Mai. Centrally to Fretwell. The touch came from Jovic. Huge moment for the Mavs. Parmenter quickly to Sinclair. Nankerville. Sided Jock. And Sinclair putting the pass up, and Ash Irvin frustrated.
Great position there, Ash Irvin. Just ball landed out of court. It was a 2-on-1. She's getting in great position, but the feed there just spot on from Maisie Nankerville into Shimona Jock.
Well, if they're good enough, they'll be able to get this back to one, the difference, the Mavs, because they've got this centre pass.
Sitting on 71%, as we see there. A turnover off their centre pass. They have been clinical, sitting at 70% on their centre pass to goal rate, so they won't be happy with that mistake, the Melbourne Mavericks.
Sinclair was just in two minds. Fretwell. Cassidy found herself all alone.
You want the ball in the hands of your most experienced players. They'll be looking to utilise the Liz Watson, Steph Fretwell connection here.
Conan, Watson. Back to Conan. So the Lightning, with the power five rapidly approaching, out by 3 now.
52nd penalty there, 53rd penalty to the Melbourne Mavericks. Highest penalised player being Kim Jenner in goal defence, sitting currently on 18 penalties.
So there are the Nissa net points, powered by E-Power. Liz Watson leading the way for the Lightning. Coming up big once again for them this season. Jovic. Jenner. Nankerville. And now Sinclair. Power five is upon us. The Mavericks happy with one at the moment. Elle Cardwell up and about. She hasn't got the bib on, so it looks as though for the moment she won't be returning. Jock under the post. Back to one. It is as tight as it gets here on the Sunshine Coast. Watson. And Conan is there to ghost in under the post. So it's a 2-goal lead for the Lightning. Another tight game for them.
A lot of body contact here through the midcourt. Every pass is under pressure. Every player having to take the ball strong, 2 hands.
Sinclair pops it. Shimona Jock. At what point do they pull the super shot trigger?
How much
Conan.
does Elle Cardwell not being on court, does that affect the confidence of the super shot for the Melbourne Mavericks? Another 1 point there from the Sunshine Coast Lightning. Sees them up by 3-2.
A reminder as well, Sinclair 75% super shot in this game, but Shimona Jock comfortable with ones.
Both teams happy just to get the ones at this point.
And Conan and Fretwell at the other end yet to sink a super shot in this match so far. Fretwell finds Maimon.
Not even posting up there, Steph Fretwell for the 2.
Fretwell was presenting initially, but the pressure enormous from the Mavericks.
How much has this physical pressure worn down the Sunshine Coast Lightning?
Well, Ava Black can hardly contain her emotions. It is so tense inside Uni SC Arena. Jock goes up, cannot claim it.
Fantastic challenge from Ash Irvin. She didn't give away the penalty, which was so important. Created the turnover for her team.
Well, these home fans, they're trying to get their side home in another tight one. Watson, Cassidy and Fretwell.
Need to continue to attack here, the Sunshine Coast Lightning. They can't rest on this lead.
Watson was looking everywhere for a combination. Hinchliffe.
Mai just out of legs in back play here. She's not creating much movement off that center line.
I'm into up and over the top.
Stretching in back play. She looks to have a bit of cramp, Lisa Mai.
So Watson. Conan, it's out to 3. They still can't breathe easy yet.
Really important centre pass here for the Sunshine Coast Lightning as we see a mistake, but it's off the hands of the Melbourne Mavericks, so they'll get this one back.
Final 90 seconds. Hinchliffe. Fretwell. Cassidy quickly on to Maimai. Conan gets a little bump on the way through from Lewis, and Conan under the post. 4-goal margin now. Is it enough for the Lightning? Or have the Mavericks got something special? Jovic to Jock. She's got it, Shimona Jock. They need this from Sinclair. Must sink. We'll get another chance. Does so on the second attempt with a Suncorp super shot. Tracy Neville's up and about. They need a turnover. Cassidy. Well, now she looks to have rolled her ankle. It's a footwork call. It is a footwork call. And Cassidy may have done a serious injury here. She is struggling to walk. So another injury in this game. Cardwell, Bruce, and now Cassidy forced out.
We see Steph Fretwell screaming instructions at her team. A really tight contest here for this last play for the Sunshine Coast Lightning.
Well, they need a super shot. It is going to be Mavericks ball. What a moment for Hinchliffe to come onto the court, their 11th player. In this pressure cooker situation when the Mavericks need a super shot.
Use their entire bench, the Sunshine Coast Lightning.
Jovic, Sinclair needs a super shot, gets the super shot. The Mavericks with the centre pass. Players down everywhere. Are they about to steal it? Jock snatches it. Has Jock won it for the Mavericks? Right at the death. Incredible. History made in the most unbelievable way for the Melbourne Mavericks. Their first win in club history.
Scenes here, the Melbourne Mavericks, unbelievable fight back. To be down by 2 and to go up by 1, an unbelievable turnaround.
You cannot believe what you have witnessed here. So the Sunshine Coast Lightning with 3 straight losses, they cannot quite believe it.
Let's concentrate on the Melbourne Mavericks. They came from behind. Clutch goal from Gabby Sinclair to draw it, and then Shimona Jock to pull the ball in and score her team's first win without Elle Cardwell on the court. Unbelievable story for the Melbourne Mavericks tonight here on the Sunshine Coast.
Well, you just remember that they were not in front in this game for nearly the entirety. They were in front for the first couple of minutes. They take the advantage right at full time. Let's get some reaction now with Katrina.
I'm with the player of the match, Molly Jovic. Oh my goodness. First franchise win. How does it feel?
Yeah, amazing. I'm not a crier, but there was nearly tears at the end there. I'm so proud of the girls who've worked so hard, and it's been building the last few weeks, and to see it come through then at the last second, yeah, incredible.
Your bench is one of the best in the competition. How about that?
Yeah, they're pretty good. The whole squad, they've been amazing, and I'm just so proud of everyone.
You individually though, Molly, an outstanding performance, 144 Nissan net points. Is this just a game you're like, I'm gonna do it? How was it?
Yeah, I think the girls are amazing. Defenders, Amy coming through with intercepts the whole game, and then all the shooters post up there. Yeah, it was awesome.
Right, momentum into next week. How are you feeling?
Yeah, hopefully we can just capture that now and yeah, just propel forward for the rest of the season.
Huge congratulations. Go enjoy.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, Molly Jovic absolutely stunned Kira. I think everyone that just witnessed that is absolutely stunned.
A fantastic match from Molly Jovic, 144 Nissan net points, 25 goal assists, 36 feeds. She had intercepts. We see there, you know, on court, she just stood up, and you just can't imagine how much this win means for this club. Coming into the competition, they were built on a really short turnaround. They had players go down. As we see this final play, they had literally 7 seconds on the timer when they took that centre pass. To get it to goal is a huge effort, and with Elle Cardwell on the bench suffering an ankle injury, you can see how much this win means to the club and the girls.
Well, could that last play have gone to a more deserving player in Molly Jovic? Sets it up for Shimona Jock. She was absolutely outstanding. 144 Nissan net points. And let's delve into that Mavericks attack, because that was very impressive.
They were so clinical with ball. We heard Tracy Neville say that that was the important part of the match they'd been missing. They were able to get their goal rate up. They were able to get their centre pass to goal rate up. So a huge improvement on the week before. And they won the second half. They beat the Lightning by 4 goals in the final quarter, which gave them the win, as we see the score breakdown there. An unbelievable finish to this match, and you could feel the momentum swinging as the game grew and as the players had confidence. And for that final goal, Shimona Jock stood up. We see those 2 players down court, Jock, they're just posting up under all sorts of pressure, was able to finish strong. And you know, so much goes behind the storyline. These girls have come from a club like Collingwood that have Nicole Richardson, the assistant coach, Molly Jovic, Gabrielle Sinclair. You know, to have started this club and then come away with a win is unbelievable.
Yeah, and you can see what it means to the Melbourne Mavericks. Let's get some more reaction with Katrina.
Right, I'm with the coach of the Mavericks, Tracy Neville. Oh my goodness, I've never seen so many tears. How does that actually feel?
It does actually feel amazing. It feels like absolutely nothing else could happen to us. We've had COVID all week, so the girls have not been training. We're like, honestly, we truly are the Mavericks. We just come out. But I think for us, it was about heart today. And the girls have been working so hard for that performance. We've been chewing, but we've just not been able to get there. There's still things that's not perfect. We're executing some stuff, but I think when we needed it, they really stuck in and got in there, and everyone played a part. And I think before, when we come into this, it was about the individuals, and we're like, no, it's about the team. We're all here to do a job, and I think we've sort of rolled clarity this week, and that's been really positive for our environment.
This is huge to enjoy. Is this what the Wolfpack is all about? Is it about the Wolfpack?
Yeah, definitely. And we started this back ages ago before Christmas when we were just having chats and stuff like that. And, you know, there's players in this team that have not been embedded in some of the stuff that we've probably been doing. And, you know, and every week we seem to have someone new join our environment. But I think for me it was about character, and today they showed so much character, and we knew they were going to be a really clinical side, and at times they showed their experience, but at the end, you know, it was about heart, and they showed that definitely on the court. And you don't deserve a performance, but I think they really worked hard for that.
Massive congrats. Good work.
Thank you. Thanks, Katrina. Thank
well,
you.
Congratulations to Tracy Neville. What a result that is for the Melbourne Mavericks. Tears of joy for the Mavericks, tears of disappointment in the stands here around UniSC Arena. And that is the tale of the tape, Kira.
Yeah, absolutely outstanding stats there from the Mavericks. For me, it's the turnovers. They reduced them this week, and they were able to pick up a lot of ball and turn that into goals.
Well, don't forget, we have got a double-header, and the Giants are looking to do what the Mavericks have done, get their first win of the season. They are taking on the Adelaide Thunderbirds. Let's head there now.